Hello. It is day one of the Kickstarter campaign to raise money for my comic book that I've been working on for like the past 3, 4 years. Um, well, in case you didn't know, the comic book that I'm putting out is called DragonManx. What's a DragonManx, you ask? Well, DragonManx is a superhero who he's actually I guess you could say he's the premier superhero of my universe, my connected superhero universe that I started many, many moons ago with a web series on YouTube called Sons of Legend. So now, in this time, Dragon Manx's powers have been messing up and he doesn't really understand why. So he's trying to figure out what's going on with his powers. So Dragon Manx is a character who's just like, he's kind of like a Batman, Wolverine, um, Constantine type character who deals primarily with supernatural threats like vampires, werewolves, demons, ghosts, um, Bigfoot, chupacabra, just things that go bump in the night typically. And he also has a on off on again relationship with his ex boyfriend Ernest, who also just happens to be a vampire struggling with a bloodlust that he can barely control. So DragonManx has retired in the current time. He's retired. He's trying to figure out what's going on with his superpowers, but he still ends up getting involved in supernatural things. He moved to Detroit, Michigan to just kind of try to lay low for a while and maybe rekindle some past relationships, uh, repair some bridges, as they say. And of course, lo and behold, Detroit has become a hotbed for supernatural activity. So of course, he's right there, smack in the middle of it. DragonManx is what is called a Alpha Omega Guardian, and that he is like basically appointed with maintaining the balance on the planet, primarily defending against threats of a supernatural nature. And this has been passed down from generation to generation of Alpha Omega Guardians. So he's got a lot of responsibilities, even though his powers are kind of messing up. So in this particular story, in the comic book, the first issue, DragonManx comes out of retirement because they're teddy bears that are apparently murdering children in their dreams. I know it's kind of out there. These teddy bears are appointed to protect psychic children, but there's a force that is manipulating these teddy bears and turn them against the kids. So DragonManx and his ex Ernest, with the help of another person from DragonManx's past, Captain Liberia, some other characters, come together to deal with this evil teddy bear threat. Sort of like a horror comedy superhero fantasy story. I actually started writing this years ago as a novel. I have not finished the novel yet, but when COVID started back in 2020, I was working on some film projects, and a lot of people weren't really doing anything film related for a while. A lot of production shut down. So I got this idea to start turning some of my comic book projects into some of my film projects into comic books. And I had actually spurred on to do that because I worked with a publisher to do some artwork for me. And I said to myself, why don't I hire these guys, team up with these guys to work on my stuff? Because I actually backed a Kickstarter campaign that they were doing. And I just saw the quality of the artwork that they were doing. I was like, I should work with these guys on my own comic books. So I've been working on a lot of projects since 2020, and I got a lot of stuff. It's been a rewarding process because a lot of stuff is finished now and it's ready to start going out. So, be doing some printing as well, because that's still a thing apparently. I don't really know how many people are buying physical stuff now, but some people still prefer to buy physical comic books. So I'll be doing the digital thing more, because that's obviously cheaper. And so DragonManx is the first comic book that I'm putting out. And I want to do this video to celebrate the launch of the Kickstarter campaign, and also to ask you to help in that process, because you need money to do anything in this world. So I want to put out a quality product, and we have a goal for our Kickstarter. The goal is $2,000. So we also have, of course, there's incentives depending on the tiers, the levels of money that you put towards the project. You get incentives, different incentives. Kickstarter crowdfunding campaigns, they all have different incentives. Like, for example, someone's doing they putting out a rap album or something, and you give like $100. You might get like, maybe you'll get like a remix, some remixes and a free T-shirt or something. And if you give $200, then you get the same thing, but also you can get like maybe a Zoom meeting with the artist. Maybe you can get a flown out to the city to go to a concert or something, depending on the level of donation that you give towards the project. So that's how Kickstarter crowdfunding works. So we have a goal of 30 days to raise $2,000 for the comics, because it's not just my comic. There's also some other comics that are being done, published. So I'm reaching out to my demographics. It's really anybody that likes comic books or likes my stuff. But I have a African American character. There's supernatural elements. There's LGBT stuff. But really, I just think it's an interesting story, and I think there's a really cool concept there. And this is me really officially launching my connected Sergio verse. So I'm going to be doing some videos constantly to just kind of bring you along the process. And thank you for your interest.